Minasan konnichiwa. Welcome to Jin Japan Podcast, a podcast every 2 days about my life travels and exciting stories from Japan. And right now, I'm on a cute little island called Shoroshima. And I've previously done 2 episodes covering this island, so you should check them out before this one. But now we'll talk actually the reason why I came to this island. That was to help out in a trash collection event on several beaches around the island. So we're going to talk about that and a famous anime from this island in today's episode. So grab a cuppa and enjoy. So if you're not following my other activities in Japan, you may not know that I'm actually setting up a little trash collection group in Japan, and the dress nomad community I'm in, and we're doing little events now and then, and trying to do stuff like what you can do each day, like what you can do by yourself, because you really can't do big events at the moment due to Corona, but we're setting up local little events, and this was the first local event I helped set up. That was on the west side of Shoroshima. We planned to do like a whole lap of the islands, like plugging, running while picking up trash. And like the whole morning, we were like, it'd take like 4 hours to get around the island, we can do like a walk around this little bit, pick up a lot of trash. But when we started, we didn't realize like, we're doing beaches. Like, the trash collection takes time. Like, we can do the walking around at the same time, like 4 hours, but if you want to collect trash as well, and there was a lot of trash, that's going to take much more time. So we only got like halfway through the original plan, but it was a good experience. It was a great way to meet local people, get the community out, and get them more aware of like what's the local trash in the area, like things you don't normally notice. Like you don't normally notice like all the trash tucked away. And by the end of a good like 3 hours, we collected, well, how many bags was it? It was about 20 bags worth full of trash. And it was quite interesting comparing the trash we found on this island, because it's a remote island compared to trash we found elsewhere, like in a previously done in Ehime Prefecture. There's quite a lot of the trash from Shoroshima, the island, is actually local trash, but it's a local kind you wouldn't normally expect. It's actually ceramics, like plates, cutlery, and little bits of mosaic. It's supposedly like custom of the local people, when they're done using a plate, or it's like used to its end, they just throw it out the window, or like throw it on the beach. And it's like a local tradition, but that leads to a lot of trash on the beaches. A lot of little bits. They're normally not too harmful, but it's interesting. It means you can actually go around these beaches, collect little bits apart, and maybe make a new pot from it. So I think that'd be definitely an interesting project to do, like go around the island, collect a load of ceramics, and then make, well, a painting out of it. And hopefully the people of the island will keep up doing these sort of events, and hopefully we start a new group, an island trash collection group, and we got a good name for this group: Gomi Hiroi no Jozu Shoroshima San. So if you don't know, this island actually has an anime set on the island. Karakai Jozu Kataji-san. So the famous Takagi-san. Like on this island, it's full of merchandise and like memorabilia for this anime. Like even the ferry, when you come to the island, is themed upon this anime, and it's very, very popular. And there's a lot of people who just come to this island to do like a little pilgrimage, like go around the spots. So it'd be good if we made a group for this island what's a similar name. People sort of get that, right? It clicks, and hopefully more people will take part, and well, the island become much cleaner. Because managing trash on an island, and it's actually quite hard. There's no real place you can like dump it, and though this island the population is decreasing, the kind of amount of trash is also oppositely increasing. Some quite interesting statistics from a few years ago. So trash management is extremely important, and getting the locals involved will help out a lot. That's a little aim now of a little trash collection group we started on this island, and it can be much more cleaner. So yeah. And next up, we're going to continue talking about that anime, Karakai Jozu Takagi-san. It's worth just giving a background on this anime before you come. It's a worthwhile watch, I think. So stick around for the next part. So Karakai Jozu Takagi-san. So what is karakai? So karakai in Japanese is teasing. So it's basically a girl who's very good at teasing, and it's a love romance between Takagi-san and, well, her target of teasing, Nishikata-kun. And in the whole anime and sort of the manga, which originated from, is like skits between them two. Like in class, in Japanese elementary school, so in class they like tease each other, do games, and well, Takagi-san always wins, because well, she's Jozu, she's good at this. And through the whole series, through many books, they eventually fall in love with each other, and it's like, all cutesy, and then live happily ever after. Ooh, because this manga was based on, originated in 2013, and I think it got like 15 volumes by 2016, so it's a lot. And then it went on to a spin-off, like what happened after. Like they got married, had kids, watched their life as adults. What I think is still continuing today. And it's a very, very popular series with over 1 million copies being sold. And now, it just had its third season of the anime, with a movie also coming out in the next few months. And it's all set on Syoudo Island. So a lot of the sites around the island are featured in the anime. So much so that actually people come to this island to do a pilgrimage. And I saw quite a few of these people going to the shrines, going to the spots, the same pictures what are in the anime exist in real life. And this is Japanese anime jinne, an anime pilgrimage. And if you like this anime and checked it out, I think it's worth giving a go when you come to this island, because it's quite cool. One of these spots are really good touristy spots. So it starts off, we arrive at the port in Tonoshoko, the Tonosho port, on the ferry, and the ferry is covered in the anime. So it's all covered. Characters, phrases from the anime. And you can take the walk from Tonosho to the main sort of town. And one of the most famous shrines on this island, the Saigo Temple. There's a big tower where you kind of see around the port town a lot. There's a nice little sort of winding road area, a little maze bit. Well, it's very famous in this area. You can go and get lost in. But there's lots of scenes from the anime what depicted sort of amazing streets with the temple as well. So become a nice little treasure hunt for pictures. When you go past that, you get to a very, very famous spot I talked about in the first episode, Angel Road. And in there, if you're lucky with the time you arrive, you can walk across the sand road to the last little bit of islands. And if you're there for your loved one, it supposedly will bring you good luck for your relationship. It's great for an anime about love romance, right? And there, when you can go through, there's a shop but it supposedly sells really good ice cream, with also lots of anime merchandise. Ooh! And just before we end, we'll talk about that. There's another little shrine I think is worth visiting, especially in the Sakura season, which features a lot in the anime. Kashima Myo Jinja. And this is on the west side of the island. It takes a little walk to get to. But it's a nice little shrine which has a lot of linking to this anime. Like even going on the side is like one of the famous spots they sit down to. There's lots of pictures of the anime. The same scene exists in real life. So it's like, the fans go wild. I when I walked to the shrine, I didn't realise it was actually the shrine. I was like, oh yeah, this is that shrine from that anime. And there was a little pilgrim there. It's like, do you want a picture? Do you want a picture? And he's like, no. It was quite funny. That's going to end my talk today about Syoudo. And today, hopefully, if it's all successful, I'll be able to get a ferry off the island. I arrive today in Kobe. And then I'm heading out to Nara. So it'll be an interesting few days and a fun weekend for me and Jin. So, 皆さん、最後まで聞いてくれて本当にありがとうございました。And if you like this podcast and like this content, please subscribe to this podcast and leave a comment anywhere you find it. It'd be much appreciated. And if you have any requests of what content you want to know from Japan, please hit up a comment because that would be the best way for me to know. So, 皆さん、最後まで聞いてくれて本当にありがとうございました。じゃあね。